It's time for the Movin' the Chains podcast. Your home for high school football coverage in the Palmetto State. Every team, every game, every week. And now your hosts, Kevin Thomas and Jarrell Hendricks.
Welcome in to Movin' the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Jarrell Hendricks. We've got a great interview today, a very special guest, the new head coach of the Bishop England Battling Bishops, Logan Hall. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you guys for having me. Like I said earlier, man, fan of the show. I've listened to it over the years. Y'all are doing a great job and an awesome platform. I'm kind of a podcast guy. Every time I hop in the car, my kids obviously want to listen to music, but I'm hitting podcasts and trying to learn a little bit.
Well, we appreciate the kind words and appreciate your time. We really do. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin' Chains, our website, movinchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Coach Hall was hired in February. He was offensive coordinator at Pinewood Prep this past season. Prior, he spent time at Battery Creek, Limestone College, and at the University of South Carolina. Coach, let's start there. What's that transition been like, kind of going from an assistant, a coordinator role, even an analyst role back in the day, to now finally being a head coach there at Bishop England?
Yeah, it's an unbelievable opportunity to be a head coach. Whenever you get in this, obviously it's kind of always in the back of your head. That's what you want to do. But I will say this, every stop along the way has prepared me for this moment. Being an analyst, being the guy that's working under people. I had the opportunity to work under Coach Spurrier, see how he ran a program, Coach Will Muschamp. I then got to work with Terrence Ash down at Battery Creek. Awesome guy. Learned a lot from him during a COVID year because everything was thrown at us very quickly, and we were both sometimes looking at each other like, hey, man, what do we do? But we grew together, learned together. Then Coach Brian Turk had the job up at Limestone, got the opportunity to go up there and cut my teeth a little bit as a position coach and then kind of as a coordinator role. So from there, got the opportunity to link back up with Devontae Holloman at Pinewood. That was awesome. Great setup. Unbelievable environment on game days. We had great kids, and we were able to really flip the script there pretty quickly and, went 6-0 in the region and had an unbelievable end of the year. Fell one game short of going to the state championship, but all those stops have prepared me for this moment, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Coach, you got a really diverse background. If you don't mind, what kind of led you, back into the high school ranks, and what are some of those differences, from coaching the collegiate level and kind of getting you settled in here, as a high school head coach?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what you want to do. And I always love giving back to the kids. And at this level, it's the purest form of football that you can have right now. Obviously, with NIL and transfer portals and everything, there's a lot of great going on in the sport right now. But I kind of saw it as an opportunity to give back and really help develop these kids at a younger level. We're around kids right now. They're seventh graders, 8th graders, 9th graders, and we're seeing them all the way through. And that's a cool experience because even at the college level, you have them for 4 years, right? But you start building those relationships and you kind of take them through that phase of life. And this is just preparing them now on the front end. Football is football. You still get to do everything that you love. But I love giving back. I love being in a community, and I love getting everybody excited about a football season.
Coach, you're taking over for legendary head coach Sean Canty there at Bishop England. Were you able to retain much of the staff from his tenure there? Did you bring in a bunch of new guys, and kind of is that staff fully formed now? Still looking for a couple guys, or what's that set up?
So we're almost completely done. There's a couple pieces that we're trying to narrow down here at the end, but I can't speak more highly of Coach Candy and the program that they ran. Right, they went 11-12 back-to-back state championships, and they really laid the foundation. I'm brought in to kind of take us into a new era, and I'm super excited about it. The staff, I'm giving everybody a shot, man. These coaches are awesome. I was able to meet with all of them, and you find out pretty quickly that a lot of people care about Bishop England, and a lot of people want this program to succeed. You always come in thinking, oh, well, I'm going to bring in 5, 6, 7 guys. Well, there's a lot of really good football coaches that are here. And we were able to bring back Coach Carson Mingo as the defensive coordinator. Coach Leo Albano will be back with us. He was the offensive coordinator last year. Obviously, he had a storied career here. And then we have a couple pieces that we're trying to piece together. But all in all, our staff's unbelievable. They love these kids. They love giving back to this community. And that's what you need at this level. You need guys that are willing to work. They have a lot of energy. They have a lot of enthusiasm, and they want the best for this program. And that's what we're going to have.
Coach, you're in a unique position, coaching at a private school, a very, very large private school that's in the high school league. What are some of the challenges presented by that? And what are some of the advantages that you have, coaching a high school league, coaching in the high school league at a private school?
Yeah, we have an unbelievable opportunity, right? The high school league has bumped us up into 4A, right? I've heard a lot of negative about it, but we get the opportunity to go play, and it's football. And we got 11 guys that are going to line up on the football field. They got 11 guys that are going to line up against us, right? And our job is to get them prepared to go play. And it kind of gets me going a little bit. My competitive juices get flowing because I preach to the kids, there are no excuses. We're going to go in every single day. We're going to compete, and we're going to go play a really good schedule. And that's what, we should want. We should want to go play the best in the state. We should want to be that, take that next step as a program and continue pushing our enrollment into numbers where we can compete at a high level every single day in every single sport, not only football, but across the entire athletic department. And the whole school is excited. It's going to be a great transition for us. And we're excited to go compete and see what the scoreboard says at the end of the game.
For people who aren't familiar with you, what kind of schemes do you like to run on offense, and what do you plan on doing on defense as well? And then will you call plays for either side of the ball?
Yes. So I will call plays. That's kind of been that's my thing, right? I love offensive plays. I love some creativity. You could probably ask Coach Holloman. Sometimes he was telling me, hey, Coach, let's just line up, please. We can get the first down. We don't have to have all these shifts and motions and things like that. But he did he did allow me to go. So I appreciate him. He kind of let my creative juices flow a little bit. But when it gets down to it, it's a team sport, right? We got to be good in all three phases. It doesn't matter what you call offensive, defense, special teams. You got to get 11 hats to the football. You got to be playing with effort, great pad level, and all that kind of stuff works itself out, right? Some of our personnel will determine what we do, both offensively, defensively, and special teams, and just preparing our guys to go play. And that's what we're here to do. So there will be some creativity, right? I love to I used to say, being around Coach Spurrier, that I used to love to throw the football, right? And then I got around Coach Will Muschamp, and then I love defense because you got to stop people. And I learned that aspect of just being detail oriented, not only in your practice schedule, but everything that you practice throughout the week that prepares you for Fridays. And then I had the opportunity. I'd always played quarterback, been in a quarterback world, kind of a skill position. And then I had the opportunity at Limestone to be the tight ends coach. And I'll be the first to admit, now when a run game hits and I design something and our staff comes together and we design a run play that hits, that gets me just as excited as a pass play that goes for 40. It's amazing. So that's where I've kind of changed over the years. I used to be push it down the field, and that's what got me going. But now when you get a counter drawn up perfectly to the right fit and it hits, or a zone hits, whatever it is, man, that's that you can coach and that you can get excited about, because it takes the offensive line, it takes communication, it takes the quarterback, running back, everybody on the same page to execute that play. And that's what really gets us going.
The beauty of offenses is always, it's innovative, it's always, always changing and things like that. Who are some guys that you maybe look up to, whether it's on the pro level, college level, high school level, to kind of draw some influence from? And, you mentioned Coach Spurrier and Coach Muschamp, who are maybe some other mentors, that you kind of are in contact with that have kind of shaped your career?
Yeah. So I've had a lot, man. It's hard to even start naming off guys that were mentors. I worked under Coach Bobby Bentley. Brian McClendon was there whenever as the OC at South Carolina. Dan Werner was quarterback. He was the OC at Ole Miss whenever they had Chad Kelly and, they knocked off Alabama. That's just to name a few, right? I could keep going down the list of just guys that I've just had the opportunity to sit in the same room and see how they see the game. You don't always agree with every single play or every single design, but you start seeing their personalities and play calling. You look at guys on, Ole Miss for, Lane Kiffin, for example, and that staff, they get very creative with what they do. But that's just to name a few. There's so many good football coaches. And to be quite honest, I find myself scrolling on Twitter and saving videos and saving different coaching cues because you get it from every level. We at the very high level of SEC ball, you see stuff that's amazing, right? We would watch NFL tape every single week, and we would get ideas from NFL guys, especially watching the Rams with kind of their shifts and motions and things like that with McVay. But then you watch high school ball, and you're evaluating talent, to sign at the University of South Carolina or Limestone, and you see a passing concept or a run game that you clip and you're like, hey, coach, this is unbelievable. And then it just gets you down that rabbit hole of just learning. And I think when you're in this, you're a student of the game at all times. You're always trying to learn. You're always trying to innovate. And you're always trying to take little pieces from everybody that you're around to try and, put your kids in the best position to be successful. And it kind of changes every single year. Sometimes you kind of fall in love with some things. And then as the year goes on, you maybe go to a camp or you go to a coach's clinic and you hear somebody speak and it just kind of resonates with you that, man, that's something that could really help us as a program. And I think that's, as a coach, you're always trying to learn. And I wish I could just, list off 100 different coaches, but there's so many that have impacted my career and just listening to how they see the game and how they develop and how they coach different, skill sets. I can't ask for anything better.
Coach, who are some special guys that maybe we should be on the lookout for next year that really, think are going to make your team go there at Bishop England?
Yeah, I'm really selling it right now as the senior class. This is their football team. I was hired as the head football coach, and my job is to organize it and get everybody going, right? But this senior class, they want to win, and they have struggled the last couple of years. But it's unbelievable, man. We have had buy-in from that entire senior class, and don't get me wrong, we got some sophomores and juniors that are gonna pop and they're gonna make plays. But I'm really leaning on this senior class to really take ownership of the program and leave a program that they are proud of to come back to. There's a lot of exciting things that are going to be announced here in the near future for Bishop England football. But it's really important that senior class leads us. And I think they are, right? Right after Memorial Day, before summer starts, all that, we got 75 kids in the weight room. And that's just kind of unheard of when that's supposed to be a break time when guys are off. Hey, you got a couple of days before we really get rolling. We had 75 in there saying, no, coach, we want to work. And you just can't ask for anything better. I mean, that gets your juices flowing right there at 7 a.m. You're like, here we go, man. We got something.
Coach, this is one of my favorite times of the year. The off season here, we got through spring ball. School's getting done, so it's just football time now. Gotten into the camp circuit, and then about to start. 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s. What have you learned about your team early on? I know you mentioned you had 75 guys willing to work, but what have you really learned about your team in these first few weeks of the off season?
I've really learned A, how much they care, and B, how much they love the game, and really how much they care about each other. Whenever I first took this job, I had a couple people reach out to me and say, man, you're entering a network of people that's very close-knit, that care about each other. It's going to be different. And I didn't really understand what that was, right? But we go to our first workout, and we're getting after it, man. Those guys are working hard, and every single player is walking up and shaking the hand of the coach saying, thank you, coach. That was awesome. I love it. Right. And then it kind of takes you back because it takes you back to the purest form of teaching, and it takes you back to the purest form of coaching and why you do it. Because those kids want to be coached. They want to learn new things, and they want to be challenged. And that's just what I've learned about this team. They're ready for the fight. They want everybody to know whenever they walk out on the field, right, win, lose, or draw, all right, they know that that other team played Bishop England. And that's what we're striving to do here.
Coach, I know you kind of hit on it a couple times earlier about as far as, what you guys are getting going on in the weight room and whatnot. And with the new multiplier rule, the new realignment, you guys are going to 4A, and I think one of the worries was maybe potential numbers. Like, would you have enough kids to really compete at that level? How are you guys looking so far on numbers wise and what's coming out, and how excited are you about what you guys have there?
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, right? We're averaging somewhere in the 70 to 80 range every single day. But we're really building a one bishop, one team mindset with one goal to create a bishop standard. And that's for everybody, right? We got all of our schools that are going to feed into us through the Catholic school system. And those will be our middle school team that we put together. That is kind of ground level. This will be their second year. So we will actually have a middle school team, a JV team, and a varsity team. Would we love to have more numbers? Sure, right? Everybody would. But at the end of the day, we're going to find 11 guys that want to line up and they want to play football, and we're going to play to the end of the whistle. And when it's all said and done, we'll look up at the scoreboard and see what we got. But I think these kids want to win. They want to compete. And there's no excuses, right? It's a great opportunity for us to go against talent and to put our name on tape, on field against teams that are quote unquote 4A, right? We're excited about our region that we're joining. We're excited about our non-conference schedule. We just got opportunities to go play, man. That's all we're asking for. And like I said, whenever the scoreboard hits 00 and that horn blows, we'll look up and see what we got. But right now we got our head buried in the process. We're trying to get better every single day. Whether that's in the weight room, outside the weight room, giving back to our community. But it's exciting, right? We had our youth camp is going on this week. We got one coming up in July. You can go on bishopengland.com, summer camps to register, but we got 140 kids right now coming to our youth camp. And that's first grade through 7th and 8th graders. And when you got 140 kids on your campus and you're showing off what we have and the kids that we have, because our kids are the ones that are the camp counselors, they're coaching it up. And it's just exciting to see those guys. I think our kids enjoy it more than some of the other kids at times. They're getting in the games. They're getting in 7-on-7s and competing with them. And it's fun to see. And they're having a blast. So I think that just shows our program as a whole. We're just trying to build a one team, one bishop mindset where we can get as many kids that decide to come to Bishop England and show that things are going to be exciting in the near future.
Coach, I got a question for you because I'm not as familiar with how the structure is at Bishop England. If you don't mind, explain to the listeners. You mentioned like you have feeder schools that come in because you guys are a Catholic school. Can you kind of explain like that structure of how that goes into your football program and the school itself?
So we have a lot of the schools are parochial schools that are kind of reach from Christ our King, Blessed Sacrament. We got a couple in Hanahan. I could list off all of them, but all of those schools through the Catholic Church and the Catholic education program feed into Bishop England. But the good thing is in the state of South Carolina, you do have school of choice going into your 9th grade year. So any of the kids that live around the school that want to be a part of Bishop England have that opportunity as well. And then the schools like Christ our King, Blessed Sacrament, they have a larger student population. Those kids, the 7th and 8th graders, rising 8th graders and rising 7th graders will have the opportunity to play for Bishop England Middle School because they do not have the ability to play outside. It has to be in a rec league or something like that. So we have gotten together. We have a full schedule. We have an 8-game schedule that's all local teams we're playing a middle school schedule. We'll have a JV schedule and a varsity schedule. So it's really exciting to have that, quote unquote pipeline back into Bishop England and then be around us. Like I said, we're creating that one bishop mindset where they transition. They're learning our offense. They're learning our defense. They are in our program. They get the same gear that everybody else gets. There is no difference. And we want those kids to be a part of it and have a great experience and ultimately go compete. So that's very exciting to have kind of year 2 of that.
As Darrell mentioned earlier, we're kind of in that summer workout period, a little bit of 7-on-7 stuff. As an offensive guy, are you a fan of 7-on-7? Do you have all that scheduled, or are you more of a maybe 11-on-11 guy now that that's legal here in the state as well?
Yeah, so I think there's some components of 7-on-7 that are really good. You get your team together, you get an opportunity to go compete, right? Some of it is, as an offensive guy, gets a little frustrating, right? You get the Mike linebacker dropping to 15 yards because he got no run game responsibility. I even get a little frustrated out here. I told a guy today, we had it this morning just with our players and told the Mike, I said, hey, man, you got to have run responsibility at some point. You can't just go walling off number 3 like that. So that's where I get a little frustrated, but it's part of it, man. It's great to go see kids compete. It's great for our quarterback to kind of see defensive structures without having a line in front of him. But it is what it is. We love to go compete, and you get to see kids make plays, right? And you get to see if the lights are a little too bright for them and what we have to work on going forward in the summertime. But it's a great opportunity to compete, and it's a great opportunity to go see what else is out there in the state and see, kind of measure up and see, hey, we may need to work a little harder, and we got to refine our skills a little bit.
Take your financial game to the next level with Founders Federal Credit Union. Reach your full potential. Relax. Join Founders today. Visit an office near you or relaxjoinfounders.com to apply. Federally insured by NCUA, member qualification required.
All right, Coach, I think we're gonna transition a little bit here, go to some easier ones. This is a question that we ask everybody that joins our program. So if you said you're a listener, you should not be caught off guard by this one. Got to ask about food. You're in a food mecca down there in Charleston, one of the best food cities in the country. And I know you're closer to that Daniel Island area. I was up there for a concert, and that place last summer, that place has really changed over the last few years. But if you want to stick to that area, you want to go to all of Charleston, Low Country, you've been down in Beaufort too. So give me some restaurant recommendations down there.
Ooh, man, I know that's a tough one. I actually think about this a lot because I'm a little bit of a foodie. I love trying new places. I will say this. I'll give you a couple different viewpoints here. All right. Thursday night. All right. My wife and I, with our 2 kids, we got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Right. As soon as we get home, 5:00, we're going to La Hacienda in Mount Pleasant. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's us, right? We've had that tradition since we were in Columbia. It kind of started because, you work Monday through Wednesday. Thursday, we kind of get out in time for dinner. My wife and I started that tradition. So we've kind of carried that on Thursday, mainly because we're getting to the end of the week. I'm tired of cooking, and we need to find something to eat that's easy. So we love La Hacienda. When it gets to kind of local, downtown, man, there's so many options. I love Anson. They have the fried flounder down there on a plate. Wow, can't beat that. Lewis Barbecue's unbelievable. I mean, my wife and I, we love to go out. We love to try different places. We love Holy City Brewing right here. I have to give a shout out to those guys because they're big Bishop England guys over there, and they support us. And I got to give them a shout out because we're actually taking our coaches over there on Friday after camp to have a little lunch and just get together and spend some time together. Just, we need a break, and it's good that they support us and provide great environment to do that.
I've been banging the drum. I'm going to jump in front of you there, Kev. Breweries. Like, I'm not a big beer guy, and I know some of our listeners probably are not of age, but some of the best food can be found at breweries.
It is. They have the best chicken wings. I mean, Holy City. I mean, I'm literally talking about going for food, right? I'm going for the chicken wings. They have a great burger. Obviously, they sell alcohol and things like that. But some of the best spots. Edmonds Oast has great food. They used to have a little food canteen right there beside it. That is now the Ranchos or whatever that was in Lewis Barbecue. But I'm a barbecue guy. Love seafood. Man, I could go on and on, to be quite honest. There's so many restaurants down here in the Low Country. I don't know if you can I always laugh and tell my wife, I was like, I wish we could just kind of go on kind of a eating spree and just kind of go and try everything. But it's tough, man. It's tough living down here. Got to hit the weight room to make sure I'm good and not packing on the LBs for the summer.
Coach, you were on the staff of, one of the greatest characters in football history, Steve Spurrier. Do you have a great Coach Spurrier story you can share that is internet appropriate, we'll say here?
Oh, man. I tell you what, there's so many good ones. Just being around him and being around that staff, there's so many unbelievable ones. I do have one. I don't think I've ever told this one before. So we're at the Birmingham Bowl. We're playing Miami, and that's the Duck Commander Bowl. And Coach Spurrier was not a fan of practicing in the cold. Was not a fan, right? Wanted nice weather. But we were kind of getting down. It was game prep. I was working with the quarterbacks at the time. And it was pretty cold. Wind was blowing. It was kind of misting. Not a lot of people wanted to be there, right? It's right around the holidays. I think we're 7-6. We ended up beating Miami. That was an awesome football game. But it was just kind of that transition time. And it was raining pretty good. Coach Spurrier, he kind of motioned toward me. He said, "Hey, come here. So I jogged, "Hey, Coach, what do you need?" Kind of turned me, kind of diagonal towards the rain. And he kind of bent down. He says, "Stay right there. Block the rain for me." And I was like, "Yes, sir. Got it." So that was my first kind of moment. Now the quarterbacks, Coach G.A. Mangus, all the quarterbacks were there. Obviously, I got ragged pretty hard for that one, but I couldn't say more great things about being around him, being around his leadership, and just seeing one of the greats do it, right? But we're getting into talking season, right? So that's kind of where we're at right now. And he was always good for a good soundbite for us. But unbelievable guy, unbelievable family. Miss Jerry was awesome, and all the brothers as well. So it's I say that with the utmost respect, telling that story. But yeah, I got some good ones. I could tell you off air one day.
Love that. I'll extend an olive branch because I messed up and wore a Clemson shirt today, so I need to say some good things.
Hey, we got it. We got the South Carolina helmet. We had a cameo for you in the back. It's okay, man. Coach Dabo does an unbelievable job up there. I've been on the good side of those games. I've been on the tough ones where you just stand there and it is what it is. But it's an unbelievable rivalry. I'm just happy that I got the opportunity to see both sides of it. And we won a lot, and then we've lost some. But that's an awesome rivalry, and the state's good for it.
That's great. Let's go to another one that we like to ask. Coach, you're riding to a game, you're getting pumped up, you're thinking about your plays. You're not listening to the podcast right now, so we may do a separate one for that. What's on the pregame playlist music-wise?
Ooh, man, I am a wide variety when it comes to music. The players honestly introduced me to more music than I ever thought that I would need to know. They actually have a playlist that they started. The two places I've been, the players have had a playlist, so they'll share it with me. And that ranges from rap to techno to house music to Chris Stapleton jamming out. I mean, it's a wide variety. So I'm not a picky music guy. I just love a good tune, and I love listening and just kind of rolling with the punches on that. But I still go back when I really want to get into the mood. I go back to old school rap, man. You can't beat old school Biggie. You can't beat old school Tupac. Vibing out to Jay-Z and old school Wayne. You just can't, man. Pre-game music. That's where we're going. If I'm walking around, I need to get my mind right a little bit.
You guys are going to have some long road trips for that Charleston traffic, so hopefully that playlist is pretty long for you, Coach.
Y'all may have to do 2 shows that week, so I have something to listen to. You can only listen to music for so long, then I got to find something else to listen to. But no, it's I love podcasts. I've really gotten into them, so it's I enjoy that. But music, yeah, you got to have something going.
We'll ask you that. Well, we got you. I know we're running a little long on time, but what are some podcasts you like to throw on as well?
Ooh, a fan favorite. Obviously, a lot of people listen to Joe Rogan. I have to pick and choose which one I listen to, so I don't go too far down a rabbit hole. The GM Shuffle is a really good one. Lombardi Line. They do a really good podcast. That's pretty informative. I listen to Next Up. He interviews Bill O'Brien, a couple other coaches. And then the last one that I've been listening to the Siskey show. So they're on MPW Digital, and they do the Tyler Siskey show. They talk all college football. They talk about recruiting. They talk about anything and everything from the portal to just his stories, because he worked for Nick Saban. He worked for Auburn. So I listen to those guys as well. So that's usually a pretty good one. I think it's McCready and Siskey podcast, but that's a really good one. That one keeps me going because they get to tell. He tells a lot of stories that I've been in those staff meetings, and you hear them and kind of the back end of recruiting trips and all the things that happen. So it kind of makes me laugh at times.
Well, last one here for you, Coach. What are some of your goals for the 2024 season for the Battling Bishops?
Yeah, our goal is to show up and compete. To be quite honest, that is as simple as it gets. We're not trying to leave any doubt of what we're trying to do. We're trying to compete. We're trying to get 11 people that want to play Bishop England football at a new standard, and that's what we're practicing towards every day. That's what we're living, and we're going to go compete. And we're going to go see what the school board says at the very end. And, if that's winning a state championship, that's great, right? But we're going to go week in, week out, take every week by itself and go compete and see what happens. And that's what we're trying to do. These kids want to compete. The staff wants to compete. The staff wants to grow. And it's just awesome to be around. It's enlightening. It's a vibrant, fan base, really good donors, really good school, really good athletic department, really good leadership within the school. There's a lot of things that are going to get announced here in the near future about kind of facilities and things like that. So it's an exciting time to be at Bishop England. It's an exciting time to be a part of the program, and I really can't wait to see what happens.
This has been great. I want everyone to go follow Coach Hall and the Battling Bishops on Twitter and Facebook and all social media platforms. Like I mentioned, follow us as well on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, etc. at Movin Change, website movinchange.com, podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Moving the Change brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Drill. Any else for Coach? We'll let him go today.
Got to get something. You got anything?
Of course. No. I just want to tell you, this is the time where we wrap things up. And I just want to say, Coach Hall, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for joining our program. And thank you for being a supporter of our program. That means a lot. We do it for the coaches. We do it for the state of South Carolina, the players, and everybody who just loves high school football in this state. Yeah. So we really appreciate that.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome, man. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. It's an unbelievable platform. Y'all got a lot of great interviews on here, and I love listening to some of the other guys. I usually have a notepad whenever I'm listening. It's coach talk, right? Somebody's going to say something. I'm like, man, that's actually pretty good. I'm going to use that one. So keep doing what you're doing and keep promoting football in this state, man. Doing an unbelievable job.
Coach, we appreciate it. Look forward to stopping by a practice or a game, getting to meet you in person. Best of luck, all right?
Come on out, man. Come on out. Check it out. Come to a game. I'll send you the schedule so y'all can make sure you hit us up, and then we'll go hit a restaurant on the back end after the game once we get a win.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchange.com today.